Black Sabbath and Patti LaBelle, what a way to start out 2024. Let's talk about some Vinyl Me Please record of the months. One of my favorite places to get records, and so I'm going to start reviewing all of the record of the months that I get from them, or at least inform you if I decide to swap out and what I decide to get. And I also plan on making a video about their exclusives that I would recommend, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that one. Today is a big one. I'm extremely excited about this new rock record of the month, as well as the Essentials record of the month for January 2024. Again, what a way to start out the new year from Vinyl Me Please. In case you're not aware, Vinyl Me Please is a very cool record company that does have a club or subscription option, but you don't have to be a club member to shop there. You do get lots of perks and discounts, and if you want to know more about the entire service, you can check out a video that I did right here. But if you sign up, you choose a track, either an Essentials, hip hop, country, classics, and now they have a rock track. And basically your track is the genre from which you're gonna get a record of the month curated from them that they choose from, and it's usually very specific pressings. You can choose either one track or all 5 tracks if you can afford them, or you can have add-ons for specific months. Again, there's a video for it here, definitely check that out. This is now my second rock track. One of the only reasons why I haven't gotten all of them is simply because of money, and I'm usually signed up for the classics track, and then from time to time I'll add on. This time I actually swapped over to the Essentials track, and then I added on the rock track for the one that we're going to talk about today. Now, if you want to skip right to the rock track, go ahead in the timestamp to skip to that if you're not interested in the Essentials. But for this month, the Essentials was Labelle, Nightbirds, which I am extremely excited about. Now, I grew up in the suburbs of Philadelphia, and basically you are ingrained here with names like Patti LaBelle. I don't remember the first time that I ever heard music or even of her. I just always knew of her. This is kind of what it's like living here. She's a Philly native. She went to Bartram High School. She initially signed with Warner Brothers, but then moved over to Epic Records to release this masterpiece in 1974, produced by Alan Toussaint. And this blends funk, gospel, soul, and rock music, and the result is one of the most recognizable and played songs in the history of funk and soul music, with the classic hit Lady Marmalade. The Essentials record of the month are usually always a mixed bag. You might get all genres in this track, but really at some point you can make an argument that a specific record that they choose should be an essential in a collection. You might not like that particular record of the month. There are definitely some Essentials that don't speak very well to me, but I would say that mostly all of the selections that are in the Essentials should be essential to anyone's collection, and this one absolutely falls in that category. This is reissued on AAA vinyl, cut from Ryan K. Smith at Sterling Sound, with a really awesome gatefold jacket that has the Essentials foil stamped on it here in red. And it also comes with the Obi strip for Essentials. I love anything with an Obi strip. And this comes, of course, on Marmalade Orange vinyl, which is so cool, with listening notes from Sasha Geffen and an original art print as well. This is another thing that I really love about the Essentials, or all of these records that you get from Vinyl Me Please. I'm pretty sure all of the Essentials always come with an extra piece of artwork with them, which is really cool. But all of the records of the month that you get from Vinyl Me Please come with some type of extra, whether it's like a poster, or it's an exclusive pressing of a color, or you get an awesome booklet like in this one written by Sasha Geffen. So you get a lot of really cool things if you're signed up with them, or even if you just go and pick up these records secondhand. And the other great thing about them is that this sounds amazing. Now, I don't have any other copies to compare this to, but I can say it delivers where I want it to on my stereo. My guess is that you're not going to find a lot of really clean copies of this out there, and you will never ever find it with this amazing, feels like a Stoughton jacket. If you've never owned a Tone Poet or even one of the new Rhino Audiophile series, this is what those jackets feel like. My only complaint about this jacket, or even those Tone Poet jackets, is I usually use 12.75-inch clear sleeves, and for 99% of my jackets, these work great. However, for Tone Poets and for some of these Vinyl Me Please reissues like this one, it requires a 13-inch outer sleeve. These do come with resealable jackets. That's what you actually get from Vinyl Me Please, but I don't personally like those resealable jackets. If you do, then you'll be fine with not having this complaint, but if you do want to put them in another sleeve, you're going to need like a 13-inch sleeve for this one in particular because this jacket is gigantic. I gotta say, this sounds amazing. The pressing here from Ryan Smith just kills it. The drums, everything, the production is just awesome. I mean, as soon as I put it on, this is just a very large sound on my stereo, and it sounds great. The vinyl is super quiet as well, and it's really, really thick too. I mean, it's probably more than 180 grams. I'll have to actually measure it out, maybe if I have a gram scale that'll measure that high. I don't think my cartridge gram scale measures that high, but what I do know is you should definitely own this record if you're thinking about getting this one, or if you're on the fence about getting a copy of this one from Vinyl Me Please is definitely one you should check out. Now for the rock record of the month. Now this started getting teased out with these, which is another great reason to be a part of Vinyl Me Please, or at least buy some records from them. I'm not sure if members only get these, but Vinyl Me Please has also teamed up with Cream Magazine, and they released these really awesome little issues talking about records and artists. And on the back, they teased this little crossword puzzle, 1 across being devoid of light, and 2 down being the biblical day of rest. The answer, of course, being Black Sabbath, and so the Discord for VMP and Reddit all blew up, and people quickly realized that we were getting this, Master of Reality from Black Sabbath. This is a new cut AAA lacquer from Ryan K. Smith at Sterling Sound. You'll hear his name a lot if you shop at Vinyl Me Please. They really are great about getting awesome masters and exclusives, and this one is on Purple Orchid splatter, and the record has the older Warner label on it. I think this is an older or original Warner label for this record. I have another one that's a little different. It looks like a more modern one on my Rhino edition. This comes with this cool two-tone black and matte finish tip-on jacket. I don't know what that's officially called, but it also has the foil stamped VMP Rock in purple on the back, and it also comes with a poster. Now, I think this is the original poster that came with the record. Again, I have a Rhino reissue of this from 2010 that I think also has this exact same poster, so I think this came with the original record when it came out in the 70s. Because Black Sabbath is a UK band, there are different pressings, both Vertigo and Warner Brother pressings, and because they've been around so long, there are so many reissues and variants and different color variants of Black Sabbath, so it can be a little bit frustrating, kind of just like the Beatles. There are tracks that are changed or rearranged on UK versus American pressings. For example, you might see older US pressings of this and think that there are more tracks on them when they just went and changed the timing and added titles to what are basically intros or interludes to some of these tracks. Also, the cover itself for this changes a lot too. Sometimes it's embossed, sometimes it's in different colors, and then as time goes on, more color variants and remasters have come along to make even more versions of the covers for this one, and this is yet another different version. This Vinyl Me Please edition looks amazing. On my Rhino edition, it's not a tip-on jacket, but the cover does have the embossed bubble cover, but I actually like this one better with this black and matte two-tone. I think it actually works better with the aesthetic of the band and everything. And I've noticed this on the Patti LaBelle and other recent Vinyl Me Please jackets. I think the Hector Lavoe one, they're actually even doing colored insides of the jackets, which I think is a really nice touch. So like the inside of this jacket here is black, the inside of the Patti LaBelle was orange, and I just think it's awesome, and it's just another cool touch, better than just brown cardboard. So I noticed Vinyl Me Please, good job. So really, how does this sound? Powerful, wide, just as it should. Now, I just got the Audiophile 2M Black and a new turntable, the AT-LP7, so this has been listened to many of times, and it sounds really good. The jamming sections of Sweet Leaf really stand out, as well as the drums and the low end on the entire record. Anytime that there is jamming and soloing on this, I feel like there is great separation, and when Ozzy is singing and needs to be out front, he is right in your face where he needs to be. The end solo at the end of Children of the Grave and all the timpani that goes with that, it doesn't distort, and the low end is just something that's usually lacking on Black Sabbath reissues, is just phenomenal here. It sounds great. Side 2, Orchid. The opening string guitar stuff sounds extremely lush and crisp. And then Lord of This World, when Ozzy comes in, man, it made me laugh because he's so out front in this, and the groove is so thick on this song. The bass sounds amazing here as well. But again, when they all start jamming together on the solos, that is really when this record really starts to shine. There's no bleeding on each other, and the drums have so much punch and they don't sound dead, which they can sound on other mixes that I've heard. One of the major treasures of this album and of the Black Sabbath catalog is Solitude. This song shows that this band is a lot more than just a doom metal band or whatever they've been labeled over the years. I actually have some thoughts about that for a future video. Subscribe if you want to hear those thoughts. But Ozzy's singing on this is vastly different from anything that you've ever heard him do with Black Sabbath, or anything really. I actually had to double check that was actually indeed him. It's so beautiful, and the flute playing on this song is amazing. Also played by Tony Iommi, and the arrangement is also just a masterpiece. But the sound of this on this record just sounds fantastic, and it's very quiet. I think that Orchid and Solitude both later inspire Metallica and other bands in the early metal years to have like one instrumental or slow song on each album. It just sounds so good in contrast with some of the other rockers on this record. Now, I'm gonna be honest here, quality control again has been a little bit of an issue with Vinyl Me Please. Side 2 on my copy has some scratches on it, and there is also some pops at the end of Sweet Leaf. I would live with those pops. It's at the end of the tune. It's like before the track runs out. But the scratches definitely suck, and I can really hear it a lot at the end of Solitude, which it's so silent, and then they just come in and it's so bad, so it ruined the song. So I had to get this replaced, and I'm glad to say that they got back to me like within an hour on a Saturday, so that was awesome. And I know that this is out of stock at the moment, so I hope that they've set aside some of these for defects. They're usually extremely great about this, which is another reason why I use them. Their customer service is amazing. It is 99% through email, but you are dealing with real people. Unlike BlueNote.com, which is just basically an automated service at this point, and I really can't stand it. That's another rant video in the future. Subscribe if you want to see that one. The only other copy that I have to compare this to is the 2010 Rhino Ron McMaster cut, which is also a AAA lacquer cut. And I gotta say, this is a very good sounding version of this record. So if you don't own a copy of Master of Reality and you're looking for a good one and you can't get this Vinyl Me Please, definitely consider this Ron McMaster. It's not that bad. I will say that the Vinyl Me Please does edge out this version. I think that they definitely have taken off more of the compression. It just sounds more open and spread out altogether. I listened to both of them on the new 2M Black and the new system that I have, which also provides amazing separation, and we're gonna get into reviews about that and everything. But I will say that this Ron McMaster cut is really good. They were very close to each other, but I do have to give the edge to the Vinyl Me Please. The vocals for Ozzy are definitely better on the Vinyl Me Please version, and I'm a drummer, so I key into the drums, and the tom sounds on the Vinyl Me Please, I think, have better tone than on the Ron McMaster version. I think there's a little bit more clarity on the Vinyl Me Please version and a little bit more grayness on the McMaster. But again, most people don't have multiple copies of records like this. I mean, I don't always like to get into these shootout things with records. Whatever one of these you get, you're gonna be happy with. This definitely is the one to get, but I definitely would not pay what these Discogs flippers are asking right now. This is a Vinyl Me Please record of the month, which means it's gonna get repressed again. Now, I do have this Paranoid, which was also a record of the month from 2015 from Vinyl Me Please, was one of the earlier editions, and I feel like that one's more of an exclusive record of the month versus this one, which is more of their typical fare of, you know, high volume record of the month records. I will say that the rock record of the months seem to be selling out, so if you're interested in the rock record of the months, you need to sign up for Vinyl Me Please today. I've got an awesome link in the description that will save you $80 $10 off for the entire year if you want to sign up for that. And it helps me out too if you do sign up using that link. So I thank you very much if you use it. But I will say it's worth it, man. You're getting these great records, and since they're already selling out, and like you can see with this one, people are already starting to pay pretty high prices for these. Again, I wouldn't pay high prices for this. They're gonna repress it again. But one day they won't repress it again. And then that day will be the day that you really wish that you had this. So it's definitely something to consider. And I think it's a sick, sick version of this record. So if you're a fan of Black Sabbath at all and you like rock music, you're going to be happy for signing up for this record of the month, as well as getting any of the other rock tracks that you get for the rest of the year. This record in particular is very special to me. I mentioned this in the very first video that I ever did on this channel. Sweet Leaf was first introduced to me through a skate video, and it was probably used 100% without permission of the band back when these skate videos were on VHS. I wish I still had that video, but it was a guy just going through town doing a bunch of tricks, and I loved it. And I never knew that this band was the same band that I was later reintroduced to from Beavis and Butthead, air guitaring Iron Man. Now, I thought that Sweet Leaf was some dark funk group or something like that, and it wasn't something that came across to me as heavy metal, which is something that I'm gonna cover in a future video, so you definitely need to subscribe to see that. You need to own this. I'm so hyped that Vinyl Me Please has released another great issue of Black Sabbath. And what's cool is now this is their second record of the month featuring Black Sabbath. They have Paranoid as well, like I mentioned, from 2015, which is also an awesome cut from Kevin Gray, and it's a AAA lacquer. So now we have two awesome audiophile cuts from Black Sabbath from Vinyl Me Please. Again, definitely a reason why you should sign up for this service. All right, so as you can see, you can go from Black Sabbath to Patti LaBelle and get amazing quality and extras from Vinyl Me Please. They do really have an awesome service. I hope you found this video interesting. I plan on doing one of these a month for each of the shipments that I get from them, so check back for more. In the meantime, you can watch this video on 8 free records that I got from them last year, or these other videos about some awesome Vinyl Me Please anthology box sets. I will see you guys on the next one.